Okay, that fax, the one from Brian, and there was another one, Josh Lito, talking about not wanting to sign the petition because he doesn't know if Dave Simmons is a misogynist. Because how are you going to know what somebody actually thinks or what somebody is actually like? Because you can't read their mind. And it's like, yeah, that's an interesting point. It's more, as I think I said last time when we were doing this, it's more on my part one of those, like Paul Newman said to Tom Cruise in The Color of Money, let's clean this up. It's like, you made a mess of this thing that was very straightforward, saying that you threw the match for your own very, very clever reasons. So, okay, let's shoot a game and let's clean this up. And that's really, it took me a long time to figure out, okay, there's not a whole lot I can do on my side about this. I think I can get Margaret List to put together an online petition, which she did. Thank you, as always, Margaret. And now it's there if you want to make use of it. I'm pretty sure I would not want to be in the situation of appearing to be on the side of the online mob that actively destroyed my career in the mid-1990s. It's one of those, okay, here's a way that you can try and diminish your personal culpability in that. To this day, James Owen is still the only person who wrote and wanted to apologize, and I accepted his apology. What are you going to do? You can't not accept somebody's apology. But it's just this weird thing in the comic field where everybody's sort of, Dave, we forgive you for what we did to you in the mid-1990s. And it's like, oh, that's very nice of you, but it doesn't really work that way. It's like, I'm supposed to be the one that forgives you, but nobody's asking me for forgiveness. So we'll just keep going along. It was nice to see from Josh's email that he sent you that we are up to 2,025 signatures. I was wondering if we were ever going to get past whatever the year was. And there we are. We're actually 6 years into the future now.
Well, it's like I said last month, the petition is the petition. People bring baggage to it, and it's like, it's kind of a simple statement. Either you do or you don't. And I get Josh's point. How do we really know what somebody else is thinking and feeling? But at the same time, the other person in this conversation did spend 20-some years documenting what they thought and felt and publishing it for the world to see. I mean, if you read the book, you get this is what Dave said. If you agree with Dave, you agree with Dave. If you disagree with Dave, well, why do you disagree? And where did the common ground go away? To say everything's repugnant, well, not everything's repugnant.
I think that's sort of the box that the feminists have got themselves into now, where they've got just this lengthy laundry list of what you're allowed to think and what you're allowed to say, what you're not allowed to think and you're not allowed to say. And it's getting narrower and narrower and narrower, which I you could see that it was going to happen. I mean, that's the personality profile. So the one thing that you can count on is that they're going to get progressively more excessive in their absolutism, and eventually you start losing adherence. You start losing not only allies that would normally be on your side in the interest of, yes, feminism represents fairness and equality. You not only start losing the allies, you start losing the neutral people who are starting to understand, no, feminism does not have any capacity for any kind of neutralism. You're either 100% in favor of their complete ideology top to bottom, or you get voted off the island and you can go join Dave Sim over in the water over there.
There was a thing I saw a while back of the difference between equality and equanimity. Equality is everybody, there's a fence that's 5 feet high, and there's something will happen on the other side of the fence and you want to see it. And there's a 5-foot guy, a 4-foot guy, and a 3-foot guy. And equality is everybody gets a 1-foot box to stand on. Well, the 5-foot guy doesn't need it. The 4-foot guy can see now, and the 3-foot guy still can't. Equanimity is everybody gets what they need, so the 5-foot guy doesn't get a box, the 4-foot guy gets a box, and the 3-foot guy gets 2 boxes, and now all 3 of them can see. And, treating everybody equally is great on paper. Some people need a leg up, and okay, let's give a leg up to the guy that needs a leg up. But at the same time, let's not give a leg up to the guy that obviously doesn't need a leg up.
You have to get into specifics then as well, where you go, okay, we're not really talking about a fence and we're not really talking about boxes. What is the actual subject under discussion?
Right.
If it's, we have to make sure that we have all of these impediments keeping Asian people out of Harvard, because if we go on the basis of merit, it's just going to be one big Asian school. And it's like, well, okay, I take issue with that. I think you have to go by standards. You have to say, if they're kicking everybody's ass around the block, and they have the highest credentials for getting into Harvard, then you let them into Harvard. It's you can't keep skewing things, but at the same time, Harvard is business. And Harvard is based on how many alumni can get how many of their kids in, because they bought a new school gym or whatever it was, and it's that's realism as well. But I think until you have to be very, very cautious about doing anything that isn't completely merit-based, where here's the standards that we're asking you to meet, here's the standard we're asking you to exceed, this is the percentile that you have to be in order to make that happen at Harvard, and you can't start fudging the numbers because you go, well, we need more women. These are all Asian STEM guys, and we can't have too many Asian STEM guys without a counterbalancing of women, and we got to have black women, and we got to have white women, and we got to have lesbians, and it's like you're making this far more complicated than it needs to be for what you're doing, which is trying to find the best academics with the best academic record, and making sure that they have a seat at the table. It's, if you start getting into the rest of that stuff, it's like, I'm sorry, I can't have a conversation with you. You're just nutty as a fruitcake to me. You're an identity politics person who you're not interested in merit. You're just interested in making sure that you've got this many different categories of people, and they're all equally represented at Harvard. Well, okay, call it a rainbow identity politics social club, but don't call it a university.
Right. I mean, I get the concept of we want to get as many viewpoints as possible, but at a certain point, it's a history class. It doesn't matter what the color of what the student body looks like. It's facts is facts. We're going to teach you the facts about history.
Yes, yes.
You know.
And that's getting really fuzzy too. There's
Well, I shouldn't have said history. I should have said math, because 2 plus 2 is going to equal 4. 2 plus 2 isn't going to equal kumquat.
Right, right. Well, we might be getting there.
Well, that's...
You might just be a little bit ahead of the curve.
I mean, when 2 plus 2 equals kumquat, at that point, I'm done. I don't know what to do. I mean, there was in the 80s, when Harlan Ellison was the creative consultant on the revival of the Twilight Zone, there was one episode, the story was a guy who sells medical equipment. And he, at the beginning of it, he says it's like learning a whole new language. And one day he comes home and his wife's using words wrong. And it slowly builds that everybody's using words wrong. And eventually he doesn't understand a single word anybody's saying. It's all English, but like instead of being red, it's dinosaur. And at the end of the story, he's in his kid's room picking up a ABC book for like a 5 or 6 year old kid and starts reading it because now he's got to learn the new language. And that's, you know, every now and then I look at the world and I'm like, we're heading towards lunch doesn't mean lunch. Lunch now is a reddish color.
Or an exotic spice from somewhere in Wichita. Yeah, okay, that's probably enough.